Welcome aboard to the Money 911 Express, where we are rewriting the rules of investing and unleashing the power of AI to transform your financial future. I'm Kris Miller, your co-pilot on this epic journey, and today we are diving deep into the revolutionary world of AI investing with none other than the trailblazing Randy Tate. Get ready to challenge conventions, debunk myths, and fuel your financial aspirations like never before. Please welcome Randy Tate. Well, Randy, you really are like the financial mythbuster people have been waiting for. And I mean, I'm serious. So share some sneak previews of like how you became an AI investing guru, right?
Yeah, well, my biggest secret is that I found the right business partner
Mm,
on that side of the house,
right,
It
right,
helps to have a guy on your team that, went to Stanford's physics program when he was 16 years old.
right.
I always make a joke, Kelly, that dude can add, so that's how I got into it. I wouldn't be able to do this without him. No doubt about it. But the other piece about it is, Kris, the investing world, and you said myth, has been we've been spoon-fed myths about investing forever. And we now accept them as fact.
Right.
And in fact, they're not. So, when I started uncovering these myths, particularly after talking with Kelly and learning about this before we started this company, I was like, wow, people don't really know that because that's not what I thought. I'll give you an example. Many of us have been told by our financial advisor or so whoever's managing our money that we want to be diversified, in things like mutual funds, diversification.
Right.
That's how you mitigate risk. That's actually not true. It couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the more diversified you are, the more your portfolio will behave like the market itself.
Mm,
And what do we know about the market? It goes like this.
up and down, right.
Depending on the time, if you were, think about this, if you were somebody that bought that line, okay, I need to just, there's another myth, leave my money fully invested for the long term, buy and hold. It's going to be in it, I'm going to write it out. And you were trying to retire in 2022 or 2008 or 2020 when COVID hit. And those events, if you're in a buy and hold situation, they can be up to a 10-year event. What's a
Mm,
10-year event? A 10-year event simply means it's going to take you 10 years to get right back to where you were at zero. And that can happen in 1 year.
yeah.
So, those are just two of the little myths we talk about.
It is so true. And, because I've done this for 33 years, I've seen those people come into my office and literally crying. They're 70, 80, and they've lost 40, 60%, right?
Yep.
And no one was there to say, hey, you better move your money. They get sold and the people just leave. It just,
Yep.
that's why I like you guys, because there's heart inside of this. There's empowerment. You are a visionary, Randy, and I just want to talk about this right in the beginning, the bulletproof your investing live, right? And
Yep.
and that's an event because the event and the live being there with everybody. So just before we deep dive into some, I just want to talk about
Yeah.
this right away. Tell everybody
Okay.
a little bit about it, okay?
So yeah, September 21 and 22, we have an event coming up called Bulletproof Investing Live. And believe it or not, it's not all about iFlip. iFlip is part of it, but it's just a piece. The world needs to learn there are ways to invest alternatively with less risk than the traditional investment world. So we've put together a group of speakers, you yourself being one of them, that are experts in their fields. We're going to talk about AI. I'm going to talk about AI while you're there. You're going to learn about how AI can manage your portfolio better than a money manager. But you're also going to learn how to leverage insurance products. If you have them, how can I leverage my insurance products into buying something else or investing in other places? Can I double dip with that? Oh, you can. And you're going to learn about that from more than one person. We're going to learn a little bit about, where do I, if I want to go trade myself and be in the markets, we've got one of the foremost futures investors and traders in the world, Daryl, coming to speak. And he's going to talk about that particular segment of the market. We're going to learn about real estate. There's ways to buy real estate where you can get into 8-figure deals now. There's different types of organizations and groups that you can get into these things. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about the stock market. We're going to talk about ways to leverage insurance. And it's all going to be presented in a manner that flows very nicely for the end consumer to be able to absorb. And we've got a couple major superstars coming as well. We've got one person, 5-time New York Times bestselling author, not Amazon bestselling, New York Times. We got another one that has over 1 million people on his podcast, and runs a big network, former chief marketing officer at a Fortune 100 company. And so it's going to be great, Kris. I'm so excited you're going to be part of it. It's just going to be 2 days of full throttle learning about alternative ways that we can put our money to work and get our finances and our capital actually growing for us the way we want it to grow. Sorry, got him a soapbox.
Yeah. No, that's really hot to trot. Right? Because everybody's got a gift, and then when we get them all together, they can all work together. It isn't just one guy going to dominate and rule the world. It can
That's
all
right.
these things can work together. I'm more about once you make the money, how you save the money, how you create tax-free income, how you can create cash and do all those things. So
Yep.
it's exciting, and then learning about. I'm learning about what you're doing, and that's so empowering for people that are that giving them a way that they can have the same success. So it's gonna be fabulous, and it is like unlocking a vault, right? The AI vault, and it's there's a lot of things inside of there. So how does it feel to you're really riding the tech wave? You are the first company that does AI investing. I don't know any other. You are the
No,
first, right?
it's interesting. It's become a buzzword.
Uh huh.
It's all over. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about AI. We've been using AI since 2017. So it's not some brand new thing that just showed up. But
Right.
here's the funny thing. Everywhere you look inside the financial services space, you see the word robo, and people
Yeah.
assume that's AI. You hear AI, people actually say AI. It's not necessarily AI. And most of the time, from my experience, it's not. An AI is not an algorithm. Although it is an algorithm, there's a big difference. A, what you see as a robo advisor today is simply algorithmically based. Basically, there's some math on it that a person wrote. On that math, it says if this happens, buy, sell, or rebalance. Simple tool. That's all it is. It is not AI. The
Mm.
difference being if that algorithm is going to change, a person has to go on the keyboard, type it, and change it. It's the only way it gets changed. On our platform, it's very different. We are really using AI. So if you're looking at what we call a smart folio, why do we call it smart? Because it actually manages itself. So the
Mm.
algorithm's there, just like in a robo. But every morning, our algorithm looks at the stock, looks at all its math, and says, I think we should buy this, or I think we should sell this, or I don't think we should do anything. But instead of reporting that to a person who's over there with a pen and pencil doing math, trying to figure it out, or on their computer in a spreadsheet, okay, what happened here? They're watching the news. They've got these things called emotions and opinions.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to make a decision of whether or not the algorithm's good.
Yeah.
Our algorithm reports to AI that brings in thousands of data sets every day, every single day. And then it looks at the algorithm and says, yep, great idea. You should do that. Or it says, no, 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 you're out of line. In fact, the AI in some cases will say, you're so out of line, we're going to change the metric. You're going to now look at this. The AI changes the algorithm, not a human. And it just
Mm.
continues to learn, continues to learn. In fact, we've been, we've been doing this now since 2017. Since 2017,
Right.
our AI is 120% ahead of the S&P 500, trading the S&P 500.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
when you look at head to head, now, does that mean it goes straight up all the time? No, 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 no. It's not the idea. The idea is to just skip the big giant dips. So AI versus algorithms, big difference. A lot of
Mm.
people don't understand it. And there's not, at least to my knowledge, there's not availability of pure AI in this sector to the retail person. Now, do the big institutions, does BlackRock have it? Yeah. Just Fidelity and those guys. But
Definitely.
here's the other thing I'll tell you, Kris, and here's another big myth. If people really believe that BlackRock and Fidelity and those guys are putting their own money into the very things they're telling you to put your money in, then you have to wake up
You gotta
because
wake
they're
up,
not.
right?
They're not. They
No.
do not allow the average person to invest the way in which they invest. And that's what we're trying to help people do is put that bulletproof vest on,
Yeah.
protect themselves a little bit.
That's why I like you guys. Yeah, definitely. You're not this big monster that because it's all controlled. The whole market is controlled. The money that's put in it's all fake in that sense, right? So, but
Yep.
you and I'm learning just listening to you because, everybody's playing with Chat GPT where, it's learning because you're talking to it, but you, that's an AI. But you, you've, it's yours is already way ahead because you've been using it and it's just learns on its own. It's not like algorithm that just picks up the thing, right?
Think of an algorithm as static. It's not bad.
Uh
It's
huh.
better than a human by itself, but it's static. It can't learn or grow. If you
Oh, okay.
remember back in the 80s and 90s, they had the little black boxes
Yeah.
where they would trade for you. Well,
Yeah.
that's what they were. They all decay.
Oh,
They all eventually fail. They
yeah.
all eventually fail.
Yeah.
And let me give you a perfect example. COVID.
Hmm.
COVID caught every fund and manager pretty much by surprise. What happened to the markets? In
Right.
December of 2019, our AI, not me, not Kelly, my super smart partner,
Hmm.
our AI moved over 80% of the money we had invested of our clients' money. It's not our money, it's our clients' money. We don't actually give advice. The AI does everything. And the customer gets to pick and choose whatever they want. Purely self-directed. The AI chose or directed people to move. The money was moved out of the market December 28th.
Mm.
Guess when it put it back in? March 17th.
Ooh.
Dead. I mean, those are
Right.
dates that people know.
Right.
So what it
Right.
did is just avoided
Yep.
that 20 something percent downturn. You
Nice.
just skipped it. It's not
Skip
about
it.
day trading, being in and out all day.
Yeah.
It's just be in the market. Another
Right.
thing people don't tell you is that 85% of the time the market goes up.
Mm.
If you
Okay.
can skip the 10, 15% when it
Right.
goes down,
Yeah.
you're in
Exactly.
great shape.
Right. Taming the market roller coaster. Right.
Yeah. We want
That's
smooth.
going smooth. We're missing out on, why miss out on the best days? So you're kind of just flying, catching the best days and not going through the nauseating, because there's so much emotion around it, right?
Yeah.
And and people they just can't invest right. I mean, it's too
Well,
emotional.
no, and we work so hard. You
Yeah.
know, so many
Yes.
people work their tails off
Yeah.
and they don't know what to do with their money.
Right.
So they either give it to somebody to manage, which is what they've always done.
Uh
It's what's
huh.
always happened. Give it to the financial advisor because he's the expert.
Right.
Although he just puts the money into a fund or gives it to a money manager, but still, that's what we do. And then we're subject to the whims of the market. And what really that means, Kris, is that Main Street, you and me, absorb all the risk of Wall Street.
Right.
We
Exactly.
absorb their risk, and they know that. Those
Yeah.
institutions know that.
Yeah.
Well, we're giving them a tool now. We're giving people a tool now. They don't
Yeah.
have to let that happen anymore.
Yeah. Randy, I bet you've got some, great investor tales, the good, the bad, the enlightened, and maybe give us just a little. We could have a whole show of your wildest lessons you've gathered, but maybe just give us one that you gathered from the front lines of the investment. It is a battlefield, honestly. right?
It is a battlefield, and it's unfortunate that
Yeah.
people in general are motivated by intrinsic things that they want and need, like money.
Right.
And so it's very difficult to trust. We don't, it's hard to trust. Even, I run into people all the time. Well, yeah, well, my uncle's, been my advisor for 20 years. And 85% of the time it's been great. What they
Hmm.
don't show you though, and where I get really grumpy with it, and the bigger, as big as it is, our AI's protection is disruptive, the bigger piece is the fees.
Right.
The way people are charged in the traditional investment space isn't fair. I do a presentation, it's out there on YouTube somewhere, where I show people what a mutual fund actually costs if you break it all down. There's more than 5 fees inside every fund that you're in that they don't even legally have to report.
Right. Right.
Not
It's crazy.
reported. You
Right.
don't see it.
Right.
So it's not on your statement. Your
That's
statement
right.
says 1%.
Thank
You
you.
were charged
Yes.
1%.
Yep.
You were charged
Yay.
more than
That's
1%.
yeah, because people don't figure that out when they're figuring out their money and their budgeting that they're losing 3 to 5% in all the fees and the broker fees and
If you
eh,
look at how much, how many the what those statements look like,
yeah,
you can't read them
there's you gotta be Wall
on
Street
purpose.
attorney to understand. Yes. On
On purpose.
purpose.
So
On
many
purpose.
numbers.
Yeah.
You can't pull out the fees, and it's really hard. And
Yeah.
the thing is that it's the bureaucracy of it all. It's two people at fault, two groups at
Mhm.
fault. Us as humans, we're at fault for being greedy. Our government is at fault for treating us like dumb sheep and putting overregulation into the situation
Yes,
so
sir.
that they're over-regulating everything so much
Yeah.
that now nobody can read it. So nobody reads the fine print that the government makes us put in. So if we took all the government regulation off, that wouldn't be good either, though. Then the charlatans would take everything.
Yeah.
At least there's some protections, but it's too much. There's
Yeah.
got to be a happy ground in the middle. That's why I say this all the time. And this is a huge talking point, and I'm going to talk about this at the event a lot.
Good.
If you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, you have to market. You must be a marketer.
Right.
All marketing. If you want to be successful in marketing, you've got to do one of 3 things. You've got to be able to tell the world that you're better. Number one, you're better than the alternatives that are out there. Well, in Flip's case, we're better. We're
Right.
better than the advisor. We're better than the traditional investment places. We're better than most individual traders that are there for an investment. Number one, you got to be better. Number two, you got to make people's lives easier, or you're going to tell them you're going to make their life easier. By Netflix, how much easier is it to go click instead
Right.
of go down to the video store?
Hmm.
Much easier. All
Right.
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 Um, and number three, or one of the three, is you got to be less expensive.
Hmm.
That's the way the world works. The
Yeah.
modern young group of investors, the 30
Right.
somethings and up now,
Yeah.
they care about price. They care drastically about price.
Drastic.
If you
Yeah.
can do any of those three, if you can do
Hmm.
any one, you can have success in your business. If you
Right.
can do all three, you can disrupt it.
Yeah.
Say that
Fabulous.
one more time. 3 functions of marketing. If you can do any of the three and spread that news to the world, you can be successful and have a good business. If you can do all three, you can disrupt the industry you're looking at, and you can absolutely market and grow and make big waves. We started from that in the very beginning. That's where we started. We want to be better, easier to use, and less expensive. Who wouldn't go to Ruth Chris if it was served McDonald's style at a cheaper price than McDonald's?
Exactly. Right. I mean, you it's so obvious and you've unlocked something in the digital age. It's not like a crystal ball or, and it's not even an algorithm, right? I
It's not
mean,
even an algorithm.
it is the compass for today's investor. You've got to be cutting edge on the top because that's what the big guys are using. I mean, don't fool yourself. And like you said, they're not investing what they tell everybody to invest in.
No, they're not. And
Right.
right now is the most important time.
Yeah.
The largest shift in wealth ever in the history of
Mhm.
humanity.
Ooh,
It's just starting.
yeah.
And that wealth shift is going to be massive. Now, think of that as if you're in the ocean, you're a surfer. It's
Hmm.
the biggest, most perfect wave that's ever happened. If you're a pro surfer or you're aligned with pro surfers and you're there and you're on it, it's the best thing that could have ever happened to you. But if you're just learning, you've not done it before, and you're out there on the wrong kind of board and you don't know how to do it, that big wave's scary. And
Yeah.
in fact, it can crash on you and it can eat you alive. And that's the kind of metaphor that I like to give. And I marry that to another metaphor. So what do? We trust our financial advisory world that tells us to do what? Stand pat, buy and hold, don't touch it, leave it alone. To be honest, that's the equivalent of jumping on a camel and trying to win the Indy 500.
Glad
Wrong
you
tool,
mentioned that. Yes. Yes.
wrong tool,
Right.
wrong tool.
Right.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Um, and in today's society, the traditional method no longer works.
That's right. Absolutely. And my daddy did, he was born in 1919. So, he did very well. And that was the buy and hold. That was that era. But,
Yep.
I'd say, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, that ended, that changed it significantly. But people are still stuck in that old, and they're not up with it. So, you've tamed the market, you've tamed the up and down, you're empowering people. And what is it? I mean, you barely. You even have an affordable, all these affordable versions that people can get in for free if they needed to, right? So it
Yep.
helps all levels of people. That's really neat.
That's the other thing we set out to do. We wanted to democratize the space.
Thank you. Yep.
It's
Yep.
not fair. The
No,
way the world is not fair right now. The person
it isn't right fair.
just starting out or
Uh-huh.
on a you know even minimum wage type job, they don't have a lot of money to invest. If they go down to the financial advisor and say, here's my $500, can you invest this for me? No, you need at least 50,000 to
Mm,
get going,
right.
which prohibits most people until their late 30s before
Yeah.
they have that kind of money put away. It's too
Right.
late then. So when you think of the democratization of it, we wanted to build a platform that empowers, keyword, empowers everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has the opportunity. I want everyone to be able to invest in the markets with the effectiveness and the efficiency of an institution or a billionaire and charge them a very, very inexpensive flat fee. No
Right.
confusing fees, none of that. And so it's really important to understand that it's just not fair for the young people. It's not fair for the people that don't have lots of wealth already. And so the
Right.
democratization is beautiful with what we're doing. And we're
Yes.
also not just giving you a free tool and telling you, go pick your own stocks. We're
Yeah.
giving you AI to help.
Over the top. That's so cool. I'm so excited about this and Bulletproof Investing Live. That's
Yeah.
Bulletproof Investing Live, September 21st, 22nd.
Yep.
And
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas, right? And they can go to, right,
Um,
to get
Absolutely. There's a
info.
couple of different I think they're
Links.
going to put a thing up on the screen down at the bottom, the links that
Okay.
they can
Yeah,
go
we'll have
to.
the screen, right?
Bulletproofinvesting.ai is what
Yeah,
it is, but they'll put it up on the screen.
right,
You can go to our website, iflipinvest.com. It's
right.
plastered all over there as well. You can call Kris, you
Call
can
me
call
and I'll
me.
send them to you. That's
We
right.
we can sort people out, but we
Right.
hope to see everybody out there. This is going
Yeah.
to be a one of a kind event that you don't want to miss.
Right, absolutely. Because it has everything in it. It has the investing, the safe money, real
Corporate
estate.
life, real
Right,
estate,
right.
you know, it,
There,
it's it's a lot.
it's a lot and it's empowering, and people get to have a life instead of living in this fear that it's all over with and, the
Yep.
recession's going to kill you and you have no options. There are options, and I believe we can even prosper as the world crumbles. We'll still prosper, right? You just need to know the little trail
Got to
along the
catch the
way.
wave.
Catch the wave. There you go. Hang 10. And bulletproof, you're in Investing Live, Bulletproof Investing Live, right? Okay.
Bulletproof Investing Live.
Bulletproof. We got to write a song about that, right? And we'll work on that.
That's not my world.
That's my
Can't do that.
world. That's my world. I'll work on that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's always such a joy to talk to you, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to seeing everybody that's listening. Make sure you tell your friends, tap everybody. Let's get on down there. We get a live event, and we'll be able to meet Randy and all kinds of really cool people and get to your next level. So again, Randy, Tate, thank you for sharing all of your wisdom with us today.
Thanks, Kris. Happy to be here.
Bravo! You've just embarked on a thrilling adventure with Money 911. Our heartfelt thank you to our exceptional guest, Randy Tate, for opening our eyes to the future of investing through mastering the market. But hold on to your hats, because a monumental opportunity awaits you. Randy's vision comes to life at Mastering the Market, an extraordinary event happening in September in Dallas. Make sure you reach out to iFlip to find out the details, and I'll be there too. Prepare to dive headfirst into the AI revolution and connect with fellow trailblazers ready to take their financial destiny into their own hands. This is your chance to change the course of your financial story. Eager to keep the conversations alive? Reach out to us on social media or shoot us an email at Kris, Kris, at healthymoneyhappylife.com. Remember, change is in your grasp. Innovation is your ally, and the financial world is yours to conquer. Until next time, this is Kris Miller signing off, urging you to embrace the limitless possibilities of investing with courage and curiosity. We'll meet you at the intersection of innovation and wealth in the next episode of Money 911. And make sure that you subscribe so you will be in line for our next great conversation. There's so much to learn about healthy money. I hope today's discussion brings you one step closer to securing and protecting your future. So you can get started on the right foot, go to meetwithkrismiller.com and schedule your free financial fitness strategy session. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to Money 911 so you don't miss our next episode, which includes health, wealth, and peace of mind.